Hey there, Alan Mathews here. We are looking at Pachelbel's Canon in D, one of the most famous, most well-recognized pieces, and for such a good reason. It's so infectious, it's such an earworm, and it's so beautiful, and it's great fun to play. And another thing that's so great about it is that you can play it in many different levels. You can actually, as a very beginner, you can just play the chords and it sounds like you're really doing beautiful music. You can use the chords as chord practice, you can use them as arpeggio practice or whatever, and you're actually playing a piece, which is great. But then you can also spend more time on it and go through, and just as you move through the different layers, it just gets more and more complex and more complex, and then at the end, and then it goes back out. So it kind of gets more and more complex, and then it simplifies out towards the end. And so it gives you a chance to work on it in levels, and it can actually be a complete piece at many different stages. So you can add on, it's modular in that way. You can just play the chord progression over and over and you've got something. You can add one or two more sections in and have something there. You can add even more in, you know, and it can get really complex, and then you can have an even bigger piece. So this is one of the great things about this piece. Now let's just take a look at it and see what we're in store for. Well, like I said, we start off with whole notes here, and then it goes into quarter notes, goes into eighth notes, back to quarters with an occasional little run in there, and then at the end to half notes right here. And so it does this expanding and contracting thing where it seems like it's getting faster, but really it's just getting smaller note values, and then it goes back out. So it really takes us on a journey. Now, while it seems like we would look at this first little bit here, these first chords, and think that this was going to be really easy, we actually go really in depth in this course into how do you phrase chords, how do you balance the chords, what do you actually do with this to make it musical, and it's not just time filler to get to the next thing. So we actually go really deep. So if you're a beginner and you want to play this piece, then you can just play the chords and that's fine. But if you're more towards intermediate or wanting to, or advanced, or wanting to make this more of a musical study, you'll find a lot in this course in that way. If it's over your head, what we're talking about, because I go pretty in depth on how to handle these type of issues that we'll find at different places, and what's melody and what's not, and how to approach certain musical things. If it's over your head, then just don't worry about it and just play the notes and enjoy that. But then you can come back later and go. So it's more of a more advanced musical study using this easier sections as a template to talk about these things. If you think it's too easy for you, you're probably wrong, because there is actually a lot to do with these chords. And oftentimes too, just playing slow, long things are more musically difficult than playing a lot of notes. Once we do get down here to the notes, we look very closely at right hand fingerings, how to phrase the rhythm, what to accent, what not to accent, how to move it. There's actually only two rhythms here. It's 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, and then there's just straight eighth notes. And so it just goes back and forth with that. So it looks like a big complex rhythm, but it's not. So we go through this with a fine-tooth comb, these sections through here, and talk a lot about how to make this connect, how to make it beautiful. Then we bring it all back to our quarter notes again. But this is like a big triumphant return at this point. And so we bring it back home here, and it's different than it is over here because we've been through this other arduous task here. And so the music, it's got a different emotional character because of the experience that we've had with the shorter note values, with the faster moving lines. So, and we talk all about that. Finally, it closes out into the half notes. And then again, we don't want to end the piece all blandly, so we really talk about how to phrase this so that it keeps the music moving forward and exciting, while also bringing it down and calming it down for our last chord. And so there's a lot to do in here. We've got different elements. We've got what the fingers are doing, and then we've got how we're considering it, what we're thinking, how we're thinking about the notes, how we're connecting the notes, and how we're making it beautiful and bringing the music forward and making it exciting and sprightly and triumphant, which it is. So this is the course on the Canon in D. There's like a ton of videos. There's probably like 20 videos, I don't know the exact number right now, on all the different sections of this piece and all this. We break it up into small sections and just take it bit by bit. There's also tab, if you like tab, and that's the course in the Canon in D. If you want to, you can take it. It's big fun. Thanks so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. you.